how did y'all's Halloween go? Because mine kinda sucked. So, usually my family will partake in Halloween events. It's usually not as big of a deal as, let's say, Christmas, but we will usually be present and doing fun things for Halloween. For example, we're really into trunk or treating. I think for the past 5 years, excluding the pandemic, we would go to a trunk or treat. We would go watch a movie during the week leading up to Halloween at a drive-in theater that also did a trunk or treat. So we'd go there, we'd do the trunk or treat there, and then we would watch the movie. It was always a very fun event. But I don't think they were hosting it this year. And it was so disappointing. No, I don't know what's going on with them. So, no shade to them, but just I was just so sad that we didn't do it this year. But not just that. Usually there's a few, at theme parks, they'll do trick or treating event. There's a handful of theme parks around where I live. So, usually we'll go to a few of them and do their stuff. And we didn't really do that either. We did one. There was one that we did because it's very close by, but we didn't do it till after Halloween. Once Halloween ended and we realized how little we did this year and how disappointed we were, we found out that the one park that's really close by was still doing some Halloweeny stuff, so we went there to do a little bit of it in November. And I'm just I miss Halloween. I'm so sad we didn't do much Halloween stuff this year. Ah. But then on a more personal level, not just my overall family, but then I just personally sucked at keeping up with Halloween this year. I had absolutely no Halloween costume ready. It was a week before Halloween happened, and I realized I don't have a costume ready to go. I don't know what I'm planning on dressing up as. I wanted to go with a different costume this year because for the past few years I'd been dressing in the same dark blue Among Us spacesuit because I'm very into Among Us, so I had this Among Us get up that I'd put on for Halloween, but I'd been wearing the same outfit since 2021. So I'm you know what? I think it's time that I change this. And then Halloween comes around and I'm I need a Halloween costume. I don't have a Halloween costume. I guess I'll just get the Among Us suit back out because I didn't have anything else. And I felt so silly about it because I'm how was I this underprepared? However, I understand everything that I've talked about so far. It's my fault. We didn't do a lot this year. That doesn't mean that Halloween was bad or off this year just because my family was busy and I was forgetful and thus we didn't do anything this year. However, I'm gonna just say overall, even outside of myself and my family, the vibes felt off this year. So I'm used to Halloween being a big deal for the people around me, everyone around me. Especially on social media. I'm used to seeing artists drawing and doodling and making Halloweeny stuff like Inktober, characters dressed up in their Halloween costumes. I'm used to seeing the places around me decorated for Halloween, and I just wasn't seeing anything like that this year. To go back to the art, I remember I'd be on social media and I'd be looking at art, and it just doesn't feel like any of this pertains to Halloween or the season it was. I think the only time I went on a different website I don't often frequent, and I saw somebody drew a picture of a witch. It was this anime witch gift, and it looked super cool. And one other thing, there is an art website, ARPG, I play, and they were doing a Halloween event, a costume event. But beyond that, I can't remember really anything that I saw artists doing that was Halloween themed. But then once again, you could probably make the argument that that's on me, that was just the artists that I'm following are just not doing Halloween stuff. But still, even outside of artists, and I know this is going to sound really silly, but advertisements. I'm used to seeing up until Halloween, like the second we hit October, sometimes even like in September, the advertisements will start and they'll all be Halloween and spooky, but I wasn't seeing a lot of it this year. In some ways, it feels like they're skipping right to Christmas. And it's like, guys, we're still in October at this point. You don't have to show me Santa Claus right now, but it's like, seriously, why are you showing me Santa Claus in October? It's October. Like, show me Halloween, show me pumpkins. Like, what are you guys doing? But then finally, Halloween, actual Halloween arrives, and I'm thinking to myself, well, the leading up to Halloween wasn't really feeling it. People weren't really doing anything in preparation, but we're now at the day. We're at the actual Halloween day. It's gonna have to be good. Like we're gonna be doing Halloweeny stuff. Like it's gonna be a good day. Until it wasn't. So actual Halloween day arrives. It's Halloween night, and that night it decides to rain. So I'm at the front door waiting for trick-or-treaters to come around because I'm 23 and I wasn't really sure if anyone would even want to give me candy, to be honest. So I'm standing at the door ready to hand candy out, and it's raining. And finally, one person comes. It's our next door neighbor, and she comes over with her younger child, and she says how, yeah, everyone is at the mall trick-or-treating to stay warm and avoid the rain. And I'm just like, great, this sucks. So my family, we leave our door open to trick-or-treaters for 2 hours, and I swear within those 2 hours, I think we saw a grand total of 15 people. Not 15 groups, not 15 kids, 15 people total, including like the parents of the children that were coming to trick or treat. And usually our house is a hotspot. Like from my understanding, usually I'm out and about with friends or my younger sibling, but since I was home this year, I asked about it, and I'd been told in the past that yeah, our house is usually a hotspot. Usually we have a bunch of people coming. Usually my parents have a hard time keeping up. So, like, leading up until I was expecting it to be like that, and then the rain came, and then 15 people came, and I asked, like, is this usually what happens? I was told no. Usually there's a lot more people. I'm like, wow, this really sucks. So anyway, I'm like dedicated that next year I need to make sure Halloween is a better time than it was this year, because this year I was just not feeling it. Nothing was happening. There wasn't like as much going on, and then it rained. So like, if I want to make sure Halloween's good, then I'm just going to have to do it myself. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm drawing at least something with my characters for Halloween. I need to make sure I make a bunch of Halloween art that upcoming year. And the other thing I really want to make sure I do is I go apple picking, because there's an apple picking farm nearby. And it's like, I want to make sure that I do that next year. So anyway, that was my very anticlimactic Halloween this year. I'm hoping Christmas is better. Like we're now headed into Christmas. Honestly, I don't even think I need to hope for it. I already know Christmas is going to be better. My family loves Christmas even more. We already got our Christmas tree up. We're already getting the lights out, so I don't think I have to worry about that. But I just hope it's better, because Halloween was very meh this year. Well, it was meh for me. I'm hoping it was better for, everyone else listening to this. If you did Halloween, feel free to talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear about your Halloween stories. I'd love to hear, was it just me, or were other people also feeling like the vibes were off this year and Halloween was not as yapped about this time around? But anyway, yeah. Have a happy not Halloween anymore. And I hope y'all enjoyed the art that was featured in this video. It's a character I got from a free-to-enter raffle in the Howltars server. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep her yet, but her design has a kind of spooky vibe to it, in my opinion. Very spooky with the face kind of being just a void, for lack of a better word. Very spooky, very creepy, kind of Halloweeny if you see it as like, being spooky, which I kind of do. So I just was in the mood to draw something like that, and I want to make sure that I at least gave her a reference sheet, even if I end up not keeping her in the end. But, yeah. So I hope y'all have a good day, and make sure to subscribe to prevent grease fires.